Hey everybody, welcome to the episode. Today I'm going to talk about when your nervous system is stuck in survival mode. And it happens all the time. I see it all the time in my health studio, and I have also suffered from it and continue to do so sometimes. So I think a lot of people have got their nervous system stuck in this kind of survival mode. I mean, we're all busy, right? Like life is busy. That's always the thing I get asked. Oh, so how you going? Are you busy? And I say, no, I'm not, because I've purposely made my life like that. Now, I know not all of you may have that choice to make your life less busy. Perhaps you're working in a full-time job. Perhaps you've got lots of children or whatever is on your to-do list. However, our nervous systems and our bodies were not made to always be on. So your question is, how on earth am I going to regulate my nervous system when I feel like the demands are just too much? And let's talk about it, okay? In a modern world today, there is a lot of expectation. There's a lot on the to-do list. There's a lot in regards to jobs, to kids, to the juggle of life. It feels like nobody's got enough money. It feels like there's constant threats coming from the news, which is why I don't watch it. So that's one thing. However, there's this whole thing about your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind, its job is to keep you safe and to keep you alive. So it's always scanning the environment for threats because it basically governs part of our nervous system. So it's going to perceive real threat as in, okay, I'm driving my car and I've got to keep braking because there's traffic, or real threat is, there's my kid, it's a toddler, it's running towards the road, all that sort of stuff. But your subconscious mind also is picking up perceived threats. So these are imagined threats like, oh my gosh, I'm so worried about my child today. He had a presentation. Or, I wonder when my husband is going to get home because he's out tonight with his mates. Or, my gosh, my boss was such a bitch yesterday, like tomorrow's going to be a nightmare. See what I mean? These are all perceived, imagined threats, but your subconscious mind is categorizing them as the same thing. So now we have real threat, we have perceived threats, and then let's talk about social media threats and what we get through these phones of ours. So scrolling, you might see a whole lot of, I'm living the perfect life and I'm an amazing mum. And so our nervous system starts to go, oh, well, I'm not living a life like that. I'm a failure. That's a threat. Or there might be lots of advertising around partying and drinking, and maybe you've gone sober, which I have for a while, so I am noticing that, which is a perceived threat. So we're really getting kind of bombarded, and we can only control what we can control, which is ourselves. Let's talk about signs of when your nervous system is going into dysregulation, because the key that I'm going to focus on in this episode is it's you catching when you're dysregulated. That's the most important part, because if you catch it and you notice it, then you create choice. Then you can create a different choice that allows your nervous system and your subconscious brain to calm down, to send different chemical messages through your body. Because the thing that I'm constantly seeing is nervous system activation. There's lots of threats, I'm unsafe, and then the brain sending signals to the body. So lots of adrenaline, lots of cortisol, lots of long-term stress, which eventually leads to burnout and nervous system activation. We aren't actually wired. We do it pretty well. Our bodies are amazing, but we're not actually wired for this continuous perceived and real threats. So signs of dysregulation could look like, first of all, you've got to notice, I think, start with your body, because if you start to get curious about what your body does, you will notice it. Shallow breathing, a fast heart rate. You might get sweaty palms or hands. You might start fiddling. You might bite your nails. You might have a very tight jaw or neck. It can turn up anywhere in your body because your body is fascinating and it's your body. I want to invite you to get curious about, oh my gosh, what is my body doing in any given moment? And particularly those perceived threatful situations, what's my body doing right now? because you'll start to see a pattern, and when you catch the pattern, you can do something about it, okay? What else does signs of dysregulation look like? Nervous system dysregulation is I'm always rushing from thing to thing. I'm always late. I forget things. I miss my appointments. When people ask how I am, I'm saying I'm always busy, busy, busy. There's lots of drama in my life. What else? There's lots of fighting or arguments or trying to prove that I'm right. Lots of that is all nervous system dysregulation. So, how do we fix it? One thing I will talk about, I don't want to go into it so much in this episode, is delegation is really key here. Like, look at your list of things that are on your list, and do they all need to be on your list? Like, if you're in a family, delegation is key. You don't need to do everything. You need to do some things. So sitting down with the family and working it out fairly, because I see a lot of moms who are like, I'm doing everything, I'm so burnt out. It's like, well, hold on a minute. When are you going to take responsibility for the fact that you're putting your hand up for everything because maybe you don't want to let go of control? Talk about that in another episode. So catch your signs of dysregulation, notice it in your body, get some somatic awareness. Like, for example, I know when I'm going into a stressful situation where I have a perceived threat, I'll notice I start fiddling. I'll play with my rings. I'll start doing with my hands underneath. And that's a sign of my body that I'm feeling uncomfortable. Okay, do I need to know why I'm feeling uncomfortable in that moment? Not necessarily. I just need to regulate. I can analyze and get some feedback later, which is also important. But at that moment in time, I can say to myself in my own head, oh, there it is, that sign of I'm feeling nervous about something or unsafe. Okay, great. Let's bring in a tool. So I want you to notice, and I'd love to hear in the comments, like, what are your signs? Because it'll be cool to hear what everyone's bodies are doing. We have such awesome bodies, and our bodies are like antennas. They're always searching the environment for perceived threat. So thank goodness for our bodies. But the key is listening to our bodies, and then doing something to change it, to regulate our state. So let's talk about that. I believe that you can set your day up for a lot better success, and we'll talk about that in another episode. But at the moment, we're talking about how do you regulate in the moment? And you hear me talking about it time and time again, people. Breath. So sometimes I like to see a stop sign in my head. That's an NLP tool. Like, oh, here I am doing that thing again. I'm biting my nails. Stop. And then just take a big deep breath. And then just breathing out all that perceived threat or stress out of your body. Quite often I'll put my hand on my body where I'm feeling it, and I'll just say in my head, I am safe. I am safe. Because remember, if it's a perceived threat and your subconscious is trying to keep you safe and alive, well, I'm pretty sure that saying I'm safe is going to help. You could do a tool like havening. So havening is where you're sort of coming down your arms. I mean, if in your boardroom meeting, you might not want to do that, but you can just have your hands under the table. Okay, it's self-soothing. This is all about self-soothing behavior, but you have to catch it and be bothered to do it. None of this is going to work if you just go, who cares? I don't have time for it. Well, good luck with changing your nervous system if you don't have time for literally, 10 seconds? I'm safe. I'm safe. You could imagine a feeling coming through your body, the feeling you want to feel, whether it's safety or peace or calm. But it's these little tiny moments of repetition during your supposedly crazy, chaotic day where you can drop in. So I'm going to keep saying this to you. It's what you keep doing repetitively, because if you're stressed repetitively and threatened repetitively and you flick the switch and start doing nervous system recalibration, self-soothing repetitively, you are actually going to create a massive change in your nervous system, which is going to actually calm down for maybe the first time in a long time. And then that's going to have a flow-on effect to your body and your hormones and your adrenals and your burnout. So I think that's a good message for all of us to remember. And it's very simple. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. If you want more tools, please go to my Calm Within the Chaos program, where it's all about these little bite-sized pieces to help you to regulate your nervous system and start to put yourself first in your life and to look after yourself. Like, seriously, you deserve it. Okay, thanks so much for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, bye.